Welcome to It All Starts With You. I'm your host, Eileen Lemelman, licensed clinical social worker, best-selling author, and motivational speaker. We'll share stories of hope, perseverance, and success that will inspire you to live a meaningful life. This show will motivate you, educate you, and encourage you to manifest your dreams into reality at any age. Because it all starts with you. Now on to the show. Hi there, it's Eileen Lemelman, your host of It All Starts With You, and I'm so happy to welcome you today. We have a really special show, so get your seatbelt on and we're going right now. Are you out of sorts? Well, aren't we all? Well, the way to deal with that is the mind-body-soul connection. And that's what we're going to talk today about, the mind-body-soul connection. Have you ever felt so upset that you're physically ill? Or have you ever seen something so beautiful that you had this spiritual experience? Well, those two examples are mind-body-soul connection. The relationship and the interconnection between mind, body, and soul is all three aspects of our self. So the mind is our thoughts, the body is the physical, and the soul is really what our essence is all about. So today I've invited two guests that will touch on all three aspects, and we will learn tips and techniques and tools of how to really care for our mind, body, and soul. So have you ever thought about your skin beyond aesthetics? You know, our skin is the way we show the public, but it's also deeply personal. It's the way we relate to the universe by touching and being touched. But that's why when we think about skin and skincare and aesthetics, it's a really spiritual experience. So today I've invited a master in aesthetics, a skincare expert, and a certified laser queen, she calls herself. She's the laser queen, to talk to us about how do we care for our skin and how do we connect that to our mind, body, and soul. So let me introduce and welcome Chantal Salwish, who is, like I said, an esthetician, a skincare expert, a laser certified expert, and she comes to us from Florida, but she also is practicing in New York as well. So she goes back and forth. So we've got this really high-end expert here with us. So let me welcome Chantal Salwish.
Hi! So I am the laser queen, and I'd like to thank you for having me on your show. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, it is such a pleasure. We have a common friend, Kelly, who told me about you, and I hope she's told you about me.
She has, and I'm really excited to be here. My outfit is from her little boutique,
Boutique. Let's give a little wink and a nod to Boutique Wonderland, my shirt
Yay.
too. But let's talk about, why are you so passionate about skin and skincare and aesthetics?
Well, it all starts with my clients, and I love what I do. It's absolutely amazing to be in this industry. Right now is the time to be in this industry. It's a hot industry to be in, and everybody wants to look younger, feel better. And there's so much out there right now. There's so many different lasers. There's so many different skincare products, makeup. Everybody's hot for plastic surgery, and in South Florida, there's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah, we all have to look our best anywhere we are. But also that when we look our best, whether we get plastic surgery or just really take good care of our skin, we're also feeling our best.
Right. And when we look our best and we feel our best, we walk around with our head up, our shoulders back, we're proud, we're friendlier, we get along better.
Yeah.
The people, it's more synergistic, everybody's happy.
So tell me what the difference is between aesthetics and skincare.
Okay, so the aesthetic industry is really lasers, your Botox, your fillers, thread lifting. In skincare are the products that we put on topically, but we need both of them. So after you go and you have good laser procedures, you want to follow up with amazing skincare to keep my work looking good.
That's right.
Just being honest.
How often do you recommend someone gets a facial?
Monthly. So facials are done monthly, and what it is we exfoliate the skin. We do a lot of extractions. We do really good hydrating masks, or there's a lot of masks now with peptides. And what it does is it keeps your skin and the cell turnover rate keeps going. So it's really good to come monthly for a good facial.
Keep it clean, keep it hydrated, exfoliate, get the dead cells off.
Correct.
All of that. And that's also speaking to mature skin, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Mature skin also. Mature skin really needs to have good anti-aging products also. So anti-aging products are your vitamin A's, where it's retin A at nighttime, vitamin C in the daytime. And everybody that lives in South Florida really needs a good vitamin C in the daytime, and then to overlap with a good mineral sunscreen. It's
Sunscreen, yes.
very important.
That is so important because we have to protect our skin, not only from the UV rays, but we don't want skin cancer and we don't want wrinkles.
Correct. So you need a good sunscreen. Mineral sunscreens are my favorite. They lay on top of the skin. That's your zinc oxide and your titanium dioxides. And those need to be put on every single day if you're going to be outside.
You know what I want to talk about for a second, because I learned something new about you today, and I think it's so interesting how
tell
people
me.
evolve and people sort of pivot over the years of their life. You were a makeup artist at the Playboy Club, correct?
Well, I did. That's correct. In my early 20s, I worked on South Beach and I did makeup for Playboy TV.
Oh, Playboy TV.
It was a phenomenal experience. I absolutely loved it. It was a lot of hard work. You had to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be on the beach. The lighting's the best in the morning. So, they were long days. They were very long days.
Wow. Well, so I bet you have a lot of stories about that.
I'm sure I do.
So, okay. So you were a makeup artist. You then went more into skincare. Is that how it happened?
Correct. So my brother, Dr. Todd Sawish, is an oral maxillofacial surgeon. He did a fellowship in facial plastics. So he does full facelifts, brow lifts, neck lifts. And I worked for him, and we used to be artistic roller skaters growing up, and we were pairs partners. Believe it or not, we competed at the national level.
Paris roller
Skating. We were pairs roller skating partners. So we skated together. I started when I was 16 months old, and we skated till I was in our mid-20s, like 23, 24.
Oh my God, I don't know what else you're going to reveal to us.
We competed in the Olympic Sports Festival, the training centers. We were on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh my gosh.
In Orlando. Yeah, so I actually have a Mickey Mouse award, and so does he. So we were always best friends and partners. And he started doing CO2 laser skin resurfacing, and he sent me in to do wound care. And I absolutely fell in love, and I was like, wow, I want to go back to school and get another degree in skincare. And then I love laser so much, I went back and got my laser license. So I actually have 8 years of college. I have 2 bachelor's degrees in 2 different things.
Well, you know what? I mean, the way to keep young, aside from taking really good care of your skin, is to always learn new things and to always be open to learning. So I love that about
Yes,
you.
always
I
open to
love it.
learning. And, if one door closes, another door opens, and life could really be like The Price is Right. You have all these curtains you can go behind and find something new.
Life is like, all right, I'm going to quote you. Life is like The Price is Right. That's
If only
great.
we could have Bob Barker back,
I know. So, here you're talking about your brother who does a lot of facial surgery and plastic surgery. Can lasers, kind of take the place of that?
They can. So let me explain lasers and what they do for you. I try to explain it in like layman's terms so everybody understands. Our skin is much like bathing suit material. And after years of wearing your bathing suit out in the swimming pool and it gets in the chlorine and then you wear it to the beach, it starts to lose its elasticity.
Yes.
And then you go put it on and it rips open and you're like, oh no, there's my bathing suit. The same thing happens to our face. It loses elasticity. So we lose volume, the elasticity, so everything starts to sag and droop. But what lasers can do is it can promote collagen and elastin fibers. So it could be like putting brand new elastic in your bathing suit. So a lot of plastic surgeons, dermatologists, they really like to use lasers to stimulate collagen and elastin fibers. The plastic surgeons like it better because now when they go do a facelift, it's like having brand new skin to pull up. So their work's going to look way better. They're going to get better results and you're going to be happier.
So that is really good, good information because, I know a lot of people, they want to do something to their skin, but they don't want to go under the knife.
Correct. And you don't have to today. And a lot of women want to feel natural, and men. I have a lot of male clients. I have both. But everybody, a lot of women want to, and men want to look natural. They want to look like themselves. They don't want to have a lot of fillers. They want to look in the mirror and they still want to see them. And they want to just grow old gracefully. And that's what lasers can do. There's all different types of laser treatments out there. People think lasers, they think laser hair removal. Yes, I do laser hair removal. I do spider veins, vascular lesions. I do sunspots for like sun damage. I can treat that, but I can also lift and tighten the skin.
So, I was reading your bio and I was seeing that you are that's why you called the laser queen, because you do multiple lasers at one time. How does that work?
Well, it took a lot of years of experience and I learned it could be like a one-stop candy shop in a lot of ways. I have clients that are very busy. They want to do everything at one time. They come in, I evaluate their skin. If somebody comes in, for instance, the other day a lady came in and she needed laser hair removal on her face. She had a lot of brown spots, so I treated her with IPL to treat her brown spots. She had some wrinkles around her mouth. She had a little glycation, which is that's breakdown of sugars. So you see a lot of perioral lines. I treated her with a fractional laser
Is that
over
when
top.
the lipstick goes into the lines?
Correct, and we can plump that up by doing a little bit of laser skin resurfacing. And then she didn't
Does
like
this
her
hurt?
jowls. Sometimes it does, but with a little topical numbing cream, most people, they don't feel it at all.
Okay.
There's other options too. So because I freelance for different plastic surgeons and derms and my brother's downstairs, if I have people that actually fly in from New York and my brother can put them under IV sedation. So I can do multiple different things. I can do something called a Morpheus laser, which is...
So what is that, the
So
Morpheus laser?
Morpheus is microneedling with radio frequency. So in their titanium insulated pins, so it delivers the heat exactly where we want it. We can deliver it in the deep dermis. We can deliver it in the fat, so we can do fat reduction. It's an absolutely incredible laser, and I like to use the Morpheus device, and then I like to, over top of it, sometimes do a chemical peel. There's all different types of chemical peels, then we treat all different layers. So your skin is much like a bed. You gotta think of it like the mattress, then the mattress pad, and then your duvet cover, and then skincare, I always say, is like your throw pillows.
Oh, I see. Okay. Hey, not that I want to really reveal this about myself, But I look in the mirror, right? And for the most part, I'm really happy with what I see.
Well, you're
But-
beautiful.
Thank you. But, you know, as I'm aging, I'm noticing this neck. This neck gives it away, I think, right? What do you do for that?
So necks can be tricky because as we age, what happens are the platysmal bands, they start to separate. So lasers can do wonderful things. They can tighten the face. We can get underneath the chin and get a lot of tightening. We can take a little of the fat away. But sometimes these bands, we need a little Botox.
Just be careful with the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. We could do a little Botox to make the bands not stand out so much. Or, unfortunately, it's time for a neck lift, facelift. So if you're going to get a neck lift,
Oh.
you need to do the facelift at the same time
I'm
because
not
the
doing
incision
that.
lines are the same.
No.
Yeah,
no.
so
I just
let's
want a
just-
little tightening, maybe,
Okay,
but
so
not
lasers
a
and
facelift
Botox are
or
your
neck lift.
answer. So let's do a little Botox and a little laser, and I think you'll be completely happy.
Okay. So how has the industry, because you know what you're saying, the language you're
Mm-hmm.
using, the terms you're using, the products you're talking about, the machines that you're really sharing with us, they weren't here like, let's say
No,
20 years
they
ago.
weren't.
So how did the industry kind of evolve over the years?
Physics evolved, delivery systems evolved. CO2 used to be, the handpiece was one handpiece, the energy output was one output. Things have changed drastically. You can run them, change the hertz, so you can actually slow down the way we deliver energy. And the timing of devices have evolved. So before, all we had was CO2, which was a laser that was an ablative laser. Now we have ultrasound lasers, which is your Althera devices. It's microfocused ultrasound, so it's sound wave. We have acoustic lasers, which are your pico wave lasers, which shatter color. Those are your tattoo lasers. They're great for melasma, scar revision. We have radio frequency microneedling devices, which is acne scarring, skin tightening. We have YAG lasers, Alex lasers, which are great for hair removal. Not only do we have all these different lasers, but we have people out there with all different skin types, all different skin colors. So there's something called the Fitzpatrick scale in our industry, and somebody that's really well educated knows the Fitzpatrick scale in and out. They know skin typing. And it's really important that you go to somebody that's really well educated in skin typing and in physics.
Yes, that's so important now because you know we're dealing with our face. You know, you touched on something that I want to really kind of talk about, which is acne scarring. You know, I think that acne and acne scarring is an kind of talked about situation that could be really life-changing for people. It could really cause depression.
It does.
It can cause isolation and withdrawal. What do you do to help somebody with acne and acne scarring?
There's a lot of things that you can do and that I do. So I do a lot of microneedling without a radio frequency.
When you say microneedling, what does that actually mean?
So they're actually little microneedles, and they make little micro channels into the skin. You can treat different. Acne.
Are they hot needles?
They're not hot at all.
Oh, okay.
But they can be if we used a radio frequency device that overlapped with microneedling. I use one in particular by Candela, which is called Exceed, which I love dearly because you can change the different depths on the device. Now, the microneedlers that you can actually buy a microneedler at home. Everybody can go out there and buy a microneedler. Most of those microneedlers that you buy are like a depth of 0.25, which are great to microneedle your face and put on a light hyaluronic acid. That's going to help. But the microneedlers that we use, you actually need a topical numbing cream. But we can
yes.
get in their ice pick scars or your boxcar scars, and over time it builds collagen and elastin underneath, so it can bring the skin back up. And then there's different skincare products that you can use. You can use some washes with benzoyl peroxide. You can use some creams at night that have retin-A. It helps with cell turnover rate. It's going to dry up the acne. But sometimes I can't do everything. I really work hand in hand with different dermatologists in our industry. And I truly believe that there's enough business for everybody out there. You don't need to do it all, but you need to have a team of different healthcare providers in the industry that you can pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, this person has acne, or this person prevents with the skin cancer. Can you see them?
Yeah, you don't have to struggle alone. This is
No.
really what you're saying. I love the idea
Yeah.
of creating a team around you. You don't have to struggle alone. Can you talk about somebody coming in, really maybe not acne, maybe somebody who's maturing and they're really feeling, maybe they're a widow and they want to get remarried or divorced and they're not really loving what they see in the mirror and they need some
Sure.
help feeling more confident and more, just better
Right.
better about themselves. Tell me, have you seen differences in people before and afters?
I have, and I've been in the industry 20 years, and I still have a lot of my clients from 20 years ago. I have some women that have lost 2 husbands, and they're still my client. But those people that they come in and their souls are, and their hearts are in their stomach, you have to go slower with them. They need a lot more love. They need to feel good about themselves. Those are the people you want to pamper. They need to be touched. They need a good facial. They need to feel good. They don't need everything in one day. They need to feel good about themselves. So therefore, you do a facial, you do a microneedling, you do easier procedures. You want to get them to come back weekly at this case because they need your love.
Yeah.
They need to feel like family. You want to build them up and make them feel good about themselves.
It's a mindset also, right? You're building mindset. You're changing and reframing the way they view themselves in the world as maybe, unlovable or even ugly,
Right.
or maybe they don't really care for themselves.
I-
Teaching them all of that.
Yeah, and you want them to love themselves. Everybody out there in the world, you want them to love themselves. You want them to look in the mirror and say, wow, I love me. This is a great day. Because when they love themselves, they can love everybody else out there better. And it's more synergistic and we can get along better as family. When people come through my door, I want them to come in my door into the Laser Queen. And I want them to feel like they're at home, that it's safe.
Yeah, and we're only kind of focusing on women, but I'm sure men come with the same kinds of upsets, insecurities,
Correct.
Wanting to be, presented in the best possible way. So do you deal with men and women differently?
I do. I do deal with men and women differently. I have had a lot of boys come in with teenage acne and now they've graduated and they have their own businesses because that's how long I've been in the industry. So I've actually had them from teenagers and now they own their own law firms. I have a lot of men in their 70s that still want to look good. I mean, this is South Florida. And yeah, I do treat them differently, but they need love too, and they need to feel good about themselves.
Absolutely. Because we're all human beings. We're all humans wanting to be
We
loved
are.
and wanting to feel lovable and wanting to feel like they matter. And if
Right.
the outside is part of that, well, then we need to embrace that.
We do. And that's why I love my industry so much because I can give back. I can give back. And that's so important. It's so important to give love. And I remember when I was in high school, my quote in the yearbook was, I want to walk away from everybody with a smile. And to this day, I still want everybody to leave with a smile on their face. So I did find the perfect career for me because it matches my beliefs. It matches my values.
So, what about, I know that you practice in New York as well as in South Florida.
I do.
Is there a difference with the clientele between South Florida and New York?
Well, everybody's human. I think in New York, the only real true difference is they bundle up more. So they don't really care as much in the wintertime as they do in the summertime about their skin because they're all bundled up. But
Yeah,
no.
but the heat and the cold and all
Cold.
that has
There's-
got to do something to the
So
face.
in New York, I sell a lot more ceramide products. Ceramide is more of a lipid. It hydrates the skin a lot more. They do more hydrating facials in New York. In South Florida, I treat way more sun damage than I do obviously in New York. So down here, my IPL, which is my Intense Pulse Light, or our BBL, we use that a lot more. Down here, I sell way more vitamin C, which protects you from the sun. In New York, I sell a lot more hyaluronic acid, which promotes water to the surface of the skin, so you look more hydrated. So
Products are a little
products are a little different. What you would sell in New York from what you would sell down here, but besides that, the clientele is pretty much the same that I deal
wants
with.
to feel good, to look good, and to really put their best face forward.
Right, and that's what we should help them do, is put their best face forward.
Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you, if they want to have some sort of an appointment or a consultation or get started with doing some laser?
So my name is the Laser Queen. I was called that by a doctor once. He just goes, "Hey, you're the Laser Queen," because I could use all the different lasers at one time, and they were really impressed at their office. But I'm known as the Laser Queen on Instagram, so that's really easy. If you're on Instagram, the Laser Queen, or on Facebook, the Laser Queen. But my phone number is 954-444-6579.
Okay. And, what do you want to tell, especially the mature woman who's watching the show and is sort of on the fence? They're a little hesitant about coming in to, get the kinds of products that they need or do the kinds of treatments that you're
Sure.
talking about. What would you say to them?
I would say, give me a call. Definitely come see me. And the first thing I can do is educate you. I'll educate you about everything I do, what's right for you. I'll look at your skin type and tell you what lasers work well for you. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to look in the mirror and love who you are. So come in and see me. I'll educate you. Education is key in
Yes.
anything in life. It'll make you feel confident. And maybe we'll start off with a little procedure. I'll make you a believer in me. A believer in me. And
That's right.
I was going to say believer in you, but if I believe in you, then you'll believe in yourself.
Yes, exactly. So, talking about education, the last kind of educational little tidbit that you can offer the audience.
The last tidbit that I could offer you, with if you did nothing ever with even come see me, is to use a good face wash. Wash your face twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, and moisturize. And you can get over-the-counter moisturizer like CeraVe or Cetaphil. But take care of yourself. Wash your skin. Your skin's an organ. It needs to be cleaned. And then if you live in South Florida or anywhere where it's sunny, put on a good vitamin C first, and then put on your sunscreen.
Yes, yes.
Really important. And make sure you moisturize your face before you go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And if
So
you're a girl,
cleansing-
wear your hair up before you go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah. So here you've heard it. So we need to cleanse, we need to moisturize, we need to use vitamin C, especially in the sun areas that we're in, like South Florida, and then use a moisturizer along with a sunscreen. Yes, we do have to take care of the largest organ of our body, which is the skin. And when we do a daily ritual in the morning, setting aside time to wash, to cleanse, to moisturize, it is a spiritual experience. It is setting aside time to say, I'm important, I matter. And you are having a sacred moment with yourself. It is extremely important to do that. And then, of course, if you want to get any kind of consultation, you are going to contact the Laser Queen. Go on Instagram, look at the Laser Queen. She said her phone number. You can listen to this recording again, or you can contact me, Eileen Lemmelman, at on Facebook, which is It All Starts With You, and you will be able to see this show again. And so I want you to like my show on Facebook. I want you to also, I put all my shows on YouTube, so I want you to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, which is It All Starts With You, Eileen Lemmelman. And you're going to be educated, you're going to learn so much about being an important person in this world, being a woman in this world, and having a community around you, because community is so important to feel connected, vital, and really, really supported. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to be talking to another really beautiful person, heart-centered, and a different kind of twist on the mind, body, and soul connection. So stay tuned.
Palermo, Landsman & Ross is a full-service tax and accounting firm located in Cooper City, Florida. For over 35 years, they have been assisting clients worldwide with solutions to assist clients with income tax planning, bookkeeping, consulting, and complex accounting issues. With constant tax law and rule changes, you need a competent, professional, and responsive accounting firm to have your back year-round. Please visit www.plrcpas.com to learn more about Palermo, Landsman & Ross and the services they offer.
Eileen Lemmelman is a highly experienced licensed clinical social worker and psychotherapist, offering 30 years of insight into the healing of trauma, anxiety, and depression. With a patient and individualized approach tailored to every client's needs, Eileen leads her patients on a journey of self-discovery and healing, with the goal of ultimately achieving balance, joy, and fulfillment in life. No matter how old you are, it's never too late to live a passionate, happy life. Eileen is ready to support you on your journey to healing. Contact Eileen Lemmelman today at 631-988-8453 to schedule your appointment today.
You're watching It All Starts With You with Eileen Lemmelman. To join in the conversation, give us a call at 888-994-4995, Studio A. Now back to the show. Hello there. So we are back with It All Starts With You. I'm Eileen Lemmelman, your host. And now we have the second really, really great woman that I invited to come on the show. She's heart-centered, and she is really all about mind, body, and soul connection. She's a certified yoga and meditation instructor, as well as a fully certified person in the Buteyko breathing method. And I've recently been taking some unbelievable breathwork courses as well as yoga courses with Heather. And I can tell you, it makes a huge difference in regulating my nervous system. Listen, we're all experiencing so much uneasiness, so much stress, so much craziness and chaos, right, in the world today. But when we take a moment to breathe, it's amazing how healing our own breath can be. And Heather is an expert in that. And I am so, so honored and really excited to welcome Heather to the show today. Hi, Heather.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy you're here.
Me too.
We're getting to be really chummy lately.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
I know. So, let's talk about why the yoga, the meditation, and the breath work is so important for our mind, body, and soul connection.
Great. Well, thanks again for having me. Oh, I could go on and on about this. There's so much to say about yoga, breath work, meditation. And just to let some of you know, yoga, the actual word means to unite or to yoke. And that means to unite the mind, body, and soul connection. And, you know, we live in a time, I don't need to even say this to you, where things are a bit chaotic.
Yes.
And that could be just the environment that we're in. We won't go into it, politics. It can be your family. It could be your job. It could be very stressful. And so our nervous system can be out of balance and out of whack, I guess you could say. And
Out of
so
whack.
out of whack. And so there are just so many different things that you could actually do to bring yourself back into balance, to bring what we say the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight and the rest and digest. We want to bring it into a place more into balance. And we can do that with the breath, and we can do it by moving the body. We can do it by stilling the mind. And you've been working with me a little bit, right?
Yes, absolutely. Listen, I'm a psychotherapist and I teach people all of these things. But, it's different when it's you. And it's different because listen, there is this, and not just me, but so many people these days are running the risk of burnout.
Yes.
And so, we have to be so mindful about that. I mean, listen, we've come off such an incredibly tumultuous, unprecedented historical time where we were all detached, we were all disconnected, we were all scared,
Yeah.
including me. And yet I was supposed to help people through that, which I think I did. But, people work overtime with that. And that means our nervous system is working overtime. And we need to attend to that to really avoid burnout. And listen, you can get burnout even not working. You can have burnout in other areas of your life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'd love to talk about something that we all have. We have from birth, unless there are challenges, of course, which is our breath.
Yes.
We have it with us 24/7. And so I like working with people to teach them to come back to functional breathing, because you mentioned I am certified in the Buteyko breathing method, which is named after Dr. Konstantin Buteyko. He was a Ukrainian physician who developed this breathwork modality. And just in a nutshell, it's all about coming back to functional breathing, which means breathing through our nose, which means inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose, lightly, slowly, and deeply. And when I say deeply, it means low, in the low part of the lungs. And when we come back to that way of breathing, it can actually, through research, bring us back to a place more in balance. Because like I was saying, whether it's work, whether it's the food we eat, whether we exercise too much, whether we're listening to things that rev up our nervous system, we need to be able to come back into a place of balance. And so we can do that by keeping our mouths closed when we're not talking, when we're not eating, when we're not singing, when we're not swimming, things like that. Just like you're doing right now, Eileen, you're doing a great job. When
I had a good teacher.
that, believe it or not, there is a huge difference for your nervous system, for how your organs function, if you are a constant mouth breather, meaning you're sitting with your mouth open,
Yes.
breathing.
Also, when you are in an anxious state or fight or flight, which, in this day and age, most of us are, many of us are in fight or flight, always waiting for the next shoe to drop, always, waiting for the next, news story to break loose, or, a family member to be angry with us because of our beliefs. So, the thing is that when we're in fight or flight, we are really breathing very shallow. We're breathing up here. And so when you talk about teaching someone to breathe, it's almost comical, right? But it really is important.
It really is. And thank you for bringing that up, because when we are anxious, and it can just be a little bit anxious, you could be even not even realizing that you're holding your breath. Would they call it email apnea? I think I was talking to you about that. You could be on your phone, you could be at your computer, going through your emails, and you're holding your breath 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds at a time. And then all of a sudden, and then you are breathing, and then you do it again. And so we have this dysfunctional breathing, which over time can create havoc, not only to our nervous system, but to our organs. And so I just want to explain to people that when we breathe through our nose in a very light, slow way, what we're doing is we're allowing the oxygen that we're inhaling to absorb more efficiently into our system. It goes into our tissues, into our cells, and into our organs, which then allows everything to function more efficiently. Now, it's really important that I say that when we breathe through our mouth, like right now, I'm obviously breathing through my mouth. But if I did this, and then when you started talking, my mouth was open, and I'm breathing through my mouth, and at night, if I'm snoring and my mouth is open all night, I am overriding my fight or flight part of my nervous system, and I can wake up exhausted. I could wake up with a headache.
That's
I can
right.
wake up with indigestion. There are so many symptoms that people don't even realize that could be helped by just closing your mouth and breathing softly and lightly.
A lot of things could be solved by closing your mouth.
Yeah, but that's a whole other show.
But that's a whole other show. But I don't know about you, but I grew up with especially my mom and my aunt. They were sighers. Everything was, and so, I thought that was the way to breathe.
Right. And so I ask a lot of my people who work with me when we're discussing different things, and I say, I want you throughout the week to notice if you yawn a lot, if you sigh a lot. Are you holding your breath? Ask your partner if you snore, because if you live alone, you have no idea if you snore, right? Unless someone's telling you. And so sighing is a sign of dysfunctional breathing.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That's
Yes.
such an aha moment.
It
when
is.
After we worked together a little bit, I went, oh my goodness, that's what I grew up with. And it was dysfunctional breathing, along with a lot of other dysfunction, but we won't get into that. But let's talk about yoga and meditation now. So let's talk about each, and why are they different, or are they the same? Like, what are their purposes?
Okay. So meditation is actually a part of yoga. And meditation, we all hear about it. We all know that I'm going to use air quotes, should be meditating. Meditation is an awareness exercise. It is a focus where we are quieting the mind. We are not getting rid of our thoughts. That's impossible. We are human beings. It is not possible to erase thoughts from our mind. So with meditation, there are so many different types of meditation. You can meditate with your eyes open, focusing on a point. You can close your eyes, focus on your breathing. There are mantra or affirmation meditations. But there's something that you've been starting to do with me that's called Yoga Nidra.
Oh my goodness.
It's
That was heavenly. It was a heavenly experience. And I mean it. It was heavenly.
Oh, that's so good. And so a lot of people, when they first hear Yoga Nidra, they're not sure what that is because a lot of people believe when they hear the word yoga, they automatically think of twisting your body into some pretzel-like pose or, folding your body forward or getting into different asanas, what we call poses. But yoga nidra is another way of saying yogic sleep. It is a type of meditation. On the outside, if someone was to watch me guiding a yoga nidra practice, it looks like a guided meditation, which is beautiful and lovely. But yoga nidra is very, very specific. And what it does is it brings you through different brainwave states so that you have less and less thoughts. Now, when we sleep, when we go to sleep at night, the idea is our body naturally knows we need to let go of thoughts. And if we cannot let go of thoughts, what do we have? Insomnia,
Yes.
right? And so yoga nidra, the idea is when someone guides you, it's very systematic, guiding you through your body, through the breath, to awareness. So it's like this place I like to explain to people where you're just about to fall asleep, but you can still hear my voice or whoever's guiding you. And the idea is we get to this place of supreme stillness. It feels like, or it is, your body falls asleep, your mind falls asleep, but your awareness. And when I say awareness, we can replace that with spirit, soul, God, true self, inner wisdom, whatever words you're comfortable using. But that place deep inside is following my voice.
Yes.
And it's like you said, it's a very I feel it's a very challenging modality to explain, and it really just needs to be experienced.
And for someone like me who was really, really desiring to experience yoga, but I have some physical issues that make it impossible for me to lie flat. And so, or bend my head over. So I was reticent, I was hesitant to really, experience this, but I actually did it sitting up and I got the same exact, I imagine, the same exact experience that somebody who was lying down was getting. And I didn't have to go into any kind of weird, uncomfortable and, for me would be really scary poses. I was just in my body.
And that's what yoga is. Like I was saying, it means to unite, to yoke. It doesn't necessarily mean poses. Yoga nidra, meditation. There are 8 limbs of yoga, and the poses are just one part of it.
See, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yes.
So you were doing yoga. You were practicing yoga with me when I was guiding you through this beautiful practice, this place of stillness. And there's been a lot of research, especially with people who suffer from stress, anxiety, insomnia. If 45 minutes, a 45 yoga nidra experience is the same as if you slept soundly for 3 hours. So can you imagine, and this has happened to me because I travel a lot for work where different time zones, can't sleep, where I just listen to a recording of yoga nidra and I can actually function the next day because it's as if my body got the sleep. It was replenished.
It didn't know that you weren't actually
Right. I'm not saying you can do that all the time.
No.
Of course not. Our body definitely needs to really sleep.
Yeah,
but
to get in the REM cycle.
Right.
Yes. So, but it is, listen, we're talking about everything at our disposal. It's our body, it's our breath, it's our mind.
Yes.
And so, how does it become a habit?
just like anything with a habit, right? We have to want to do it. We have to want that change. We have to want that shift. Number one, compliance is everything. And I'm sure you know that, being a therapist. When you work with your patients,
Yes.
they have to want to change. So let's say I want to work on my stress level. I'm going to make an effort to change my breathing, number one. I'm going to check in, make sure that my mouth is closed when I'm watching TV, when I'm at the computer. I'm going to make sure my mouth is closed. I'm going to really check in to be sure that I'm breathing lightly and slowly and deeply.
And also,
and
the tongue
and
on the roof of the
yes,
mouth.
and the tongue on the roof
Because
of the
that
mouth.
really makes a difference when you lightly put your tongue on the roof of the mouth, which you've told me about. It makes a difference with how you're really aware and connected to the breathing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always, when I'm starting a meditation or a yoga nidra practice, I say we need to talk about oral posture, just like our body has a posture, oral posture. And I always say, allow the tongue to rest on the upper palate as if you were saying the word love or library. So go ahead and try that. And you'll
Yes.
notice where your
Yes.
tongue is, and it's just lightly there. And we make sure that there's a little space between our upper and lower back teeth. And then I love this. I dare you to have your tongue on the roof of your mouth and try to breathe through your mouth. It's
Yeah.
next. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's pretty close to impossible.
Yeah, you can't.
You
open-
really. So if your
You
tongue
will.
is on your upper palate,
Yeah.
if that's a habit right there,
Yes, yes.
you'll breathe through
Yeah.
your nose.
So, I always love to hear people's stories. So, how did you get so passionate about this spiritual work that you do, this mind, body, soul connection work that you do? How did you get, so passionate about it?
It's a question. A lot of people who go into meditation and yoga, I have found they themselves had maybe a difficult upbringing or a traumatic experience. And I'd like to say I'm fortunate that I have not had anything overly traumatic in my life. However, I do remember as a child, I loved being outdoors. Always. I was riding my bike. I grew up on the west coast of Florida. I remember just being in the water and riding my bike everywhere. And I really connected with nature. I felt good in nature. I felt at peace in nature. And then when I went to college in New York City, which was chaos, 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 but I loved it at the time.
Yes.
And I went to my first yoga class, and we were in Shavasana, we're laying on our back, and it was that very similar feeling. It was, and so I said, I want to do more of this. Never thought I was going to teach it as a job, but
Well,
just went
listen,
further and further.
We're talking about being out in nature and really listen, that alone raises our serotonin level. So, as a child, when you're out riding your bike and you're, in the sunshine and you're playing ball and you're swimming, you're out in nature. And guess what? You can do that as an adult and raise your serotonin level, which is the happy hormone, and you can really experience it. Yes, we want you to experience yoga and meditation and, breathing the right way, but we also want to encourage you to do other things. Get your feet in the grass, get your feet in the sand, get out in the sunshine, because that's a way to really raise your serotonin level and connect to your body. So, I love everything that you shared with us today. I love the fact that we have our body at our own disposal to help regulate our nervous system, to help, make us reflect on what we need, to help us grow in a very spiritual way, to help us really learn how to regulate our nervous system. And so, where can people contact you if they want to have a personal or maybe a group instruction of yoga, meditation, or breath work?
Well, they can reach me on Instagram at Heather Berg, Berg Yoga, or you can email me at Heather@Soul Garden Yoga. It's all one word, SOUL gardenyoga.com.
Yeah, and I really encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to go to Facebook, watch the show. If you're watching it on replay, let me know that you're watching it on replay. And also go to YouTube. It all starts with you. That's my name on Facebook as well as my YouTube channel. And subscribe to It All Starts With You, because I want to see you. Because you know what? It does all start with you. Everything starts with you. And this is what this show is about. It's about serving you. So let's be a community. Can't wait to see you again very soon. And that's all for today. Join us next time as we create a community that helps you feel accepted for being yourself, giving and receiving unconditional support for each other as we connect and inspire one another. And remember, it all starts with you.